Let me ask you a question. In today's world, what is a nation's most valuable resource? Is it oil, gold? No, it's the brain power of its people. And for a country like Pakistan, with one of the youngest populations on Earth, this isn't just a nice idea, it's everything. So the big question is, how do we stop just talking about this youth potential and actually turn it into our greatest national advantage?
Just take a second to read that. For every national need, a graduate equipped to make an impact. This isn't just some fancy slogan. It's a completely different way of thinking about education. It's not just about learning facts. It's about creating problem solvers who are ready to tackle the country's biggest challenges. And believe it or not, this is the real driving mission behind an incredibly successful school system right next door in Iran.
So what if I told you we don't have to reinvent the wheel here? What if there was already a blueprint, tested and perfected over 50 years for doing exactly this? A proven method for finding a nation's most gifted young minds and turning them into the architects of its future. Well, there is, and it has a name. It's called NODED. That stands for the National Organization for Development of Exceptional Talents. Now you might think, oh, so it's the network of schools, and yes it is, but here's the part you really need to understand. The government there doesn't see it as just an education program. They see it as a strategic national asset, as important as their infrastructure or their defense. Why? Because they know that these students are their future.
Okay, so how does this machine actually work? How do you build a system that can scan an entire country, find the most promising kids, and then give them everything they need to become leaders? Well, it all starts with a completely different way of finding them in the first place.
This, right here, is the secret sauce. The entrance exam isn't about what you've memorized from a textbook. It's not a test of your memory. Nope, it's a test of how you think. It's designed to find pure, raw talent. This is so important because it levels the playing field. A brilliant kid from a small village has the same chance as a kid from a top private school in the city. It's all about potential.
And take a look at this example. See? This isn't a math problem you'd find in a textbook. It's a logic puzzle. It's all about recognizing patterns. You can't just cram for a test like this the night before. And that's the whole idea. This is what makes it fair. The system isn't looking for kids who had the best teachers. It's looking for raw talent, pure and simple.
And the hunt for this talent is massive. Every year, nearly 600,000 students apply for a spot. Out of that huge number, only about 15,000 get in. That's just 2.5%. So you know for sure that the students who make it are truly exceptional. So what happens once they get in? Well, they enter a whole new world. They're in school for more hours every week than in a regular school, and that extra time is packed with advanced supplementary courses that go way beyond the standard curriculum. These kids are constantly being challenged and pushed to their limits.
And this is so crucial, it's not just about making them smarter. The real goal is to create future leaders. The entire program is designed to build skills like decision-making, strategic thinking, and teamwork. It's about developing a deep sense of social responsibility and an understanding of what the nation actually needs. They're not just building intellect, they're building character.
All right, this all sounds really impressive. But the big question for any country making this kind of investment is, what's the return? Does it actually pay off? Well, let's look at the record, because frankly, the results are staggering. Get this. On the world stage, NODED students have brought home over 900 medals from the International Science and Math Olympics. We're talking about the Olympics of science for young people. This proves that this system creates students who can compete with and win against the very best from anywhere in the world.
The impact back home is just as massive. At Iran's top engineering and science university, an unbelievable 87% of the students are NODT graduates. Think about that. The system acts as a direct pipeline, channeling the nation's brightest minds right into the fields that are most critical for its future.
And this is where that mission statement we saw at the beginning really comes to life. The graduates become nation builders. They're the ones doing cutting-edge research, starting new companies, and generating wealth. They're shaping the country's future and lifting the nation's self-confidence. They become the problem solvers they were trained to be.
Now, of course, a system like this raises some tough but really important questions. You know, is it fair? Does it only benefit the rich? And what about the famous brain drain problem? These are absolutely valid concerns, and the NODET system has been thinking about them for decades.
So let's tackle the biggest concern head-on: fairness. Does this just create a special club for the children of the wealthy? The answer is a clear and simple no. The system is completely need-blind. The only thing that gets you in is your score on that aptitude test. That's it. If your family can't afford the fees, they're covered. A child's talent is the only thing that matters.
And they even take it a step further. This commitment to fairness is built into the geography of the system. They deliberately place dozens of these schools in less developed, underprivileged parts of the country. It's a conscious strategy to make sure that brilliant kids are found everywhere, not just in the big, wealthy cities.
Okay, now for the million-dollar question, the one every developing nation worries about. You make this huge investment in your brightest minds, and then what happens? If they just leave the country for better jobs abroad? It's a real and serious concern.
But their perspective on this is incredibly strategic. First, they say it's a nation's duty to help its best and brightest reach their full potential. No matter where they are in the world, they become role models and ambassadors. But here's the most powerful part of their answer. The only real long-term solution to brain drain is to create world-class opportunities at home. And who is best equipped to build the companies, the research labs, and the institutions that create those opportunities? You guessed it, the graduates of this very system. In a way, they become the solution to the problem.
So, after looking at how this system works, the incredible results it produces, and the smart answers to the hard questions, we have to turn our gaze back home and ask, what is the opportunity here for Pakistan? We all know the talent is here. It's an ocean of it. It's in our cities, our towns, our villages. Waiting. What's missing is the engine. A nationwide public system that can systematically find this raw talent, wherever it is, and then carefully cultivate it into Pakistan's single greatest strategic asset.
The blueprint exists. It's not a theory. It's a proven model that's been working for half a century right next door. We see flashes of this potential in excellent private schools like Sunderstem. But for a nation of over 240 million people, we need a national solution. The model shows us a clear path to investing in our most valuable resource, our people. So the only question that's left to ask is, what are we waiting for?